existence of giants isn't just some unsolved theory of the past, rather an actual truth-based living and documented evidences.
This is a spectacular bit of human history. There were giants on Earth.
Here are some of those most interesting ones that will leave you shocked.
I mean, that's a skull, right?
Now, this is not something you see every day. A massive figure was spotted moving across the hills of Brazil. It walked back and forth, its towering form standing out against the landscape. Stunned viewers filmed from across the valley, unable to believe their eyes. It didn't look like any human. Too large, too dark. Could it have come from the sky appearing with a warning? Or was it an alien entity that somehow reached Earth? Whatever it was, its presence was impossible to ignore. Maybe, just maybe, this won't be the last time it's seen. Mountain's hidden face. A YouTuber sent his drone soaring over the Green Mountains, expecting a peaceful landscape, but as the footage played back, one detail stood out. A massive face staring back at him from the mountainside. Eyes, nose, mouth, everything carved with eerie precision. Could it be a giant frozen in time? A king marking his land? The possibilities were endless. He uploaded the footage, eager to uncover the truth. That's when he realized he had just filmed Mount Rushmore. Petrified Titan found. A tourist was taking in the scenic views when he noticed something unusual. On the mountain, a massive figure stood still, its shape making it seem like it was about to climb. He couldn't shake the thought of a petrified giant. Some say these giants are trapped between dimensions, only appearing under certain conditions. Later, viewers reported that the figure had vanished, but the sight left them uneasy. If it was truly a giant, then maybe, just maybe, it could return again. Massive bone discovery. A man walking in a rural area came across a giant bone. It was massive, one side smooth, the other curved. It didn't seem to belong to any animal or human from this era.
Es un hueso enorme. Aquí en el monte.
Could it be from something very, very old? Maybe an extinct creature, possibly a dinosaur, or could it have belonged to a giant from long ago? Some believe it could be linked to the giants mentioned in Jewish biblical stories. Whatever it was, its discovery was remarkable. Experts are examining it, and soon it might end up in a museum for everyone to see.
No sé qué tantos metros medirá, pero es un...
Towering figure rises. Locals in Peru spotted something unusual on a mountaintop that made them look twice. Two dark figures stood there, unmoving. Then, one of them suddenly got up, towering over the landscape. It was so tall that some thought it could be a Slender Man. These beings are said to be impossibly tall, and this sighting only added to the mystery. To make sure no one dismissed the story, they captured photos as proof. Whatever they saw that day, it was something they wouldn't forget. Frozen giant tracks.
Can somebody tell me what the hell that is?
A man in Albany, Kentucky, filmed giant footprints outside his home in the snow. They were too big for any human or animal and had 3 distinct toes, almost like claws. The sight left him wondering what could have made them. Could it be the legendary Bigfoot? That was his first thought. From that day on, he set up a camera to find out what appeared after he went to sleep. He wanted to see if whatever left those footprints would return, or if it was something that had been watching all along.
I came out to feed my dog. I want y'all to look at this shit.
Dark figure scene. A giant figure was spotted crossing a mountain in Mexico, causing panic among the locals. The footage, sent by a viewer, showed a massive creature moving through the countryside. It was tall, covered in dark fur, and walked with heavy steps. Some believed it was a giant Bigfoot, while others thought it could be something even more mysterious. The town watched in fear, unsure if the creature would return. Whatever it was, it left a deep impression on those who saw it. The sighting quickly spread, with many sharing their own encounters. Could there be more lurking in the mountains? Train creature sighting. Passengers on a train in southwest Colorado couldn't believe their eyes. As they looked out at the countryside, they saw a massive black figure walking through the open land. Then suddenly it sat down on the ground. It was too large to be a human. Those watching believed it was none other than Bigfoot, a creature they had only heard about in stories. But seeing it with their own eyes changed everything. They kept filming, capturing every moment until the train moved too far away. Colossal sword buried. In a remote valley, archaeologists uncovered a massive object buried in the earth. At first, it looked like a strange rock formation, but as they cleared the soil, a gleaming metal edge appeared. It was a 30-meter long sword, untouched by rust. The ground nearby had unusual indentations, almost like battle scars. Had this been the site of an ancient war? If a sword of this size existed, then the warrior who wielded it must have been just as massive. Giant's ancient mark.
Look at this. There's the, when you...
In a remote part of South Africa, deep in the rocky terrain, an unusual sight has puzzled many. A giant imprint pressed into solid granite stands nearly 4 feet tall. The rock formation looks natural at first, but as the details become clear, the shape is unmistakable. It resembles a massive footprint. Some claim natural erosion, while others argue that such precision is not easily explained. Estimated to be between 200 million and 3 billion years old, its existence challenges everything we know. A site like this makes you wonder what else might be hidden beneath the earth.
We want to really appreciate this as a spectacular bit of human history. They were giants on Earth.
Strange mountain figure. A tourist expected to see a beautiful view when looking up at the mountain, but what he saw was beyond strange. A dark, skinny being stood there, but it wasn't just standing, it was doing push-ups. Yes, that's exactly what it looked like. Tall and thin, its appearance matched descriptions of Slender Man. The tourist claimed it disappeared after a while. No sign of where it went. That trip would be unforgettable for him. Trapped within bark. Expecting ghosts in the woods? One wildlife expert found something even stranger. He came across an old tree, its bark rough with age. But deep within, a face was carved into the wood, not by human hands, but seemingly by nature itself. It resembled Vecna, the fictional character known for his eerie presence. It could be a mere trick of the bark, but the expert had a different thought. To him, it looked like a trapped soul, frozen in time, waiting to be noticed. Buried Titan hands. A strange video surfaced online, quickly going viral. It showed a team of scientists working on a discovery buried deep beneath the sands of Egypt. They had uncovered a series of ancient pits, each containing something unusual. As they carefully examined the find, one detail stood out. These weren't ordinary remains. Inside the pits lay giant hands preserved for thousands of years. Some were buried near a throne room, others outside the palace walls. Their size was unnatural, larger than any known human hands. No one knows who they belong to or why they were placed there, but their presence hints at a past that may never be fully uncovered. Guardian Stone Gaze. Geologists were exploring ancient ruins when they noticed a rocky mountain. Above it, a small cave stood out. Inside, they spotted a giant face carved into the wall. At first, it looked like a creature staring at them, but it wasn't alive, just a face. The cave seemed extremely old, and that carving could have been a guardian. Maybe the place was once sacred and people prayed to it, or perhaps it marks something hidden within. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Shadowed hillside presence. Hikers in Ilha do Mel have reported a strange presence, and one man saw it for himself. While making his way through the rocky hills of Paraná, Brazil, he spotted a tall, shadowy figure standing above him. It wasn't clear what it was, but locals had their own beliefs. Some say it's the spirit of a lost hiker, appearing to guide others along the path. Strangely, many claim to have seen it in the same spot, watching from the heights before fading away into the mist. Pale creature hunt. In a village, an unusual scene unfolded. Goats were seen chasing something pale with a human-like body but creepily running on two arms. It looked like a skinwalker. It ran and hid behind a tree, then vanished. But that wasn't the end of it. Villagers later reported their animals mysteriously disappearing. One after another, they were gone without a trace. It seemed that whatever they saw that day wasn't just passing through. It might have been preying on their livestock, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next hunt. Dark figure running. Victorville, California became the center of attention, not for its scenic views, but for something far stranger. A dark figure was seen running along a hillside near the roadside. It moved fast and climbed effortlessly without any support, never stumbling. No human could move like that. The way it scaled the hill matched descriptions of ancient beings once said to be tall and powerful. Authorities later searched the area but found nothing. The figure had vanished without a trace, leaving those who witnessed it unsettled. Buried Cyclops remains.
Kultu zakonników. Wyobraźcie sobie.
On the grounds of a nun's convent in Wales, archaeologists made a strange discovery beneath an old cave. They uncovered a massive stone figure, its body rough and broken. At first it seemed like just a worn-out statue, but as their lights moved across the cave, they saw a giant skull trapped in the rock, with one large empty eye socket staring back. It could have been a petrified Cyclops, an ancient being turned to stone long before the convent was built. There was also a chance that the nuns had unknowingly built their convent over the remains of a forgotten giant, sealing away something far beyond their understanding. Cave giant skeleton. In the south of Thailand, an ancient cave held a mysterious discovery, a giant skeleton perfectly shaped with all its bones intact. An archaeologist found it surrounded by spiral-like remains, possibly from a massive snake. It could have been a human skeleton or a lost species of ancient giant, or maybe it was the remains of a battle between creatures long forgotten. As the team continued their research, the cave walls revealed carvings that hinted at an unsettling possibility. This was no ordinary burial. Alberta truck sighting. A trucker was picking up equipment in Alberta, Canada, early in the morning when his dash camera captured something unusual. At first, everything seemed normal as he drove onto the site, but later, as he walked toward the equipment, he felt uneasy, like something was watching him. That's when he noticed a massive figure standing at the edge of the site. It was tall, unmoving, and had a strange, heavy presence. Without wasting time, he rushed back to his truck and drove off. When reviewing the footage, he realized what he had seen: a towering, upright beast. Many would say it was a Bigfoot. Cave guardian encountered. Deep in the caves of Mexico, an explorer came across something that made him freeze. On a rocky hill, he spotted a cave, and inside, a dark humanoid figure stood, staring right at him. It remained still for a moment before turning and vanishing into the darkness. A thought crossed his mind. It could be a cave guardian, protecting something hidden for centuries. Maybe if he had stepped inside, he would have discovered gold or something far more valuable, guarded by this mysterious presence. White-haired monster. In a rocky area, a group of boys was out exploring when they spotted something terrifying. Perched on a rock was a massive creature, completely covered in white hair, with glowing red eyes and a face that looked anything but human. It gave off the presence of something demonic or even a giant. What happened next remains a mystery, but the boys were never seen again. Many believe the creature took them away, making sure no one else would uncover its presence in that desolate place. Blurry cliff creature. A woman captured an interesting sight on video in Oregon in cliffs. The video quality wasn't great, making it hard to see its features or figure out what it was. But one thing was clear: it looked huge and muscular. It moved through the trees, its shape standing out even in the blurry footage. Could it be a Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Well, that's what it looked like. The woman was sure it wasn't a normal animal. What do you think it could be? Share your thoughts. Cloudwalker scene. Flying high above the clouds, a passenger noticed something unusual outside the window. At first, it looked like just another shadow in the sky, but as the plane moved closer, the figure became clearer. It was massive, standing tall above the clouds, walking as if the air itself was solid ground. The sight was shocking, unlike anything seen before. Some believe it could be a giant, a being thought to have vanished long ago. Others wonder if it was something else entirely, watching from above, hidden in plain sight. Mountain giant spotted. Locals in Mexico spotted a gigantic figure standing on a mountain. It was tall and black, unlike any known creature. It stayed there for a while before disappearing. Many thought it could be a Nephilim, the mysterious giants mentioned in ancient texts. They were said to be the offspring of angels and humans, appearing only for significant reasons. If that was the case, its presence might have been a warning or a sign of something unseen. Whatever the reason, those who saw it wouldn't forget that moment. Enormous skull found.
I mean, that's a skull.
Some explorers deep in the woods came across something unusual, a massive skull. It wasn't human, nor did it belong to any known animal. The eye sockets were huge, and the skull had a strange curved parting in the middle. It looked ancient, a Bigfoot skull. That's what they thought. They examined it closely before deciding to hand it over to experts for further study. But what if they had searched the area more? There's a chance they could have found the rest of the remains. Maybe the truth about this mysterious being was buried nearby, waiting to be uncovered.
Sasquatch episode. Mario, is the skull real? Absolutely.
Nephilim doorway sighted.
There it is. Nephilim door.
Stepping into the world of Alibaba and the 40 Thieves? Well, that's what a hiker felt when he came across a massive door deep in the Canyonlands. It stood around 50 to 60 feet high and 14 to 15 feet wide, with a strange porch-like structure in front. The sight was stunning. Some called it the Nephilim door, but what if he had stepped inside? There could have been hidden gold or ancient artifacts, or maybe, just maybe, it only opens through a spell, just like the legends say.
Near where the Citadel was discovered in the Grand Canyon.
White Mountain Mystery. In a desert-like landscape with rugged rock formations, an explorer came across something shocking. A rocky structure, white in color, stood before him. Inside, strange handprints were engraved, massive ones. Out of curiosity, he placed his own hand inside, but it was nowhere near the size. The structure wasn't just a rock, it was part of a massive mountain with a cave hidden inside. This was the White Mountain in Wyoming. Some say the rock was once soft, allowing these prints to be pressed into it before hardening over time. Could this be a trace of an ancient civilization? Forest Phantom Force. A drone recorded something powerful trying to tear down a massive tree in 2021. The footage showed trees deep in the woods shaking violently, not just one but multiple. Whatever was there kept pulling and shaking them, forcing a path through. No humans were around and no cranes were seen nearby. The first thought that came to mind was that it could be spirits or ghostly entities tied to the trees because no human could do this. There could also be a possibility that a Bigfoot was hiding there. They are said to live in the woods and have such immense strength. Mountain giant sighted. Fear spread among locals after a giant creature was spotted on a mountain range in Mexico. It had long limbs and a strange posture, towering over the landscape. Another witness, a woman, claimed to have seen it too. Some even reported a UFO hovering behind it, linking the creature to something extraterrestrial, possibly on a secret mission. Authorities dismissed the claims, but those who saw it were certain of what they witnessed. Mysterious bone ritual. A family was on a trip through the mountains, enjoying the green landscape. Everything seemed normal until they spotted something terrifying on the ground. Giant skulls, bones, and other body parts scattered around. The sheer size of them made it seem like they belonged to some massive, frightening creature. A strange energy filled the air, making them uneasy. There was a possibility that black magic was involved, with the bones being part of some ritual. Sensing the negativity, they chose not to stop or investigate further. Instead, they kept driving, leaving the eerie sight behind. Whatever was going on there, avoiding it was probably the safest choice. Ancient skull mystery. A video surfaced online and quickly caught attention. It showed a massive skull resting in the dirt, unlike anything seen before. What stood out was the single large hole in the center of its forehead. The size of the skull suggested it belonged to a giant, something out of legend. Some linked it to ancient stories of towering beings with a single eye. Others believed it might be evidence of an unknown creature from the past. But as researchers examined it closely, they found an explanation. The skull matched those of ancient elephants, their nasal cavity resembling an eye socket, possibly inspiring the old tales of the Cyclops. Giant's lost ring. Historians discovered something shocking. Want to know what? A ring. You might think, what's so special about a ring? Well, this one was different. It was massive, too big to fit any human finger. It was very, very old, covered in strange patterns. People claimed it belonged to a Nephilim, found in a rock quarry. It was estimated to be around 13,000 years old. Seeing its size, you can imagine the person long, long ago who used to wear it. Some believe it could have belonged to a race of giants lost to time. Scientists are still studying it, uncovering something magical and shocking each day. What secrets does it hold? Utah hunters footage. A pair of deer hunters were traveling through Utah when they spotted something unusual. A dark figure was moving around in an area meant for rifle hunting. It seemed risky for anyone to be walking there without bright hunting gear. Curious, they took a quick video before heading off to their meeting. Days later, they decided to compare the size of the figure to a person. That's when they realized it was much taller, broader, and heavier than any human. The footage showed a massive, thick-bodied creature standing in the wild. They had unknowingly filmed a Sasquatch. Fire line shadow caught.
That might be Sasquatch.
A man was out in the woods, watching over a fire he had set to clear some land. As night fell, he recorded a short video, not thinking much of it. Hours later, someone messaged him, asking about a figure in the background. Confused, he rewatched the clip. That's when he saw it, something large, moving fast through the flames. He played the video over and over, slowing it down. A massive figure ran right through the fire, barely visible in the dark. Some might say it was nothing, but to him it looked like a Sasquatch.
Seriously, what the heck was that?
Mountain camp encounter. A group of campers was enjoying a peaceful night in the mountains when one of them noticed something strange. A shadowy figure was watching them from a distance. Curious, they followed its tracks, moving deeper into the area. That's when they saw it, a hunched figure, pale and oddly shaped. The camera couldn't even capture it fully. As it turned toward them, its true form became clear. This wasn't a person or any animal they knew. It had a twisted body, something unnatural. It seemed to move toward them, but they didn't wait to find out more. They ran, leaving behind a mystery. Just what kind of creature had been watching them? Illinois forest figure. In 2012, a mountaineer in St. Elmo, Illinois, captured eerie footage deep in the wilderness. A giant figure stood motionless among the trees. It was tall, muscular, and unlike any known animal. For a moment, it just stood there, almost as if it was listening. Then, without warning, it climbed up into the trees and disappeared into the forest. The man stayed hidden, barely breathing. One thought ran through his mind: Bigfoot or perhaps a Yeti. Both were said to roam these areas. Luckily, it never noticed him. If it had, things might have taken a different turn. Whatever it was, he knew one thing: he was not alone out there. Canada trail sighting. In Alberta, Canada, a sportsman was trail riding through a wooded path when everything suddenly changed. Near a tree, he spotted a massive black furred figure. It stood there, towering over the surroundings. For a moment, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. It looked just like a Sasquatch. But instead of stopping to investigate, he kept going, not wanting to take any chances. The sight alone was enough. Later, he decided to report it to the authorities, hoping they could track it down. Virginia Creek Walker. In 2009, a video from Norton, Virginia caught attention for all the true reasons. It showed an ATV rider moving through a rocky stream bed when something unexpected happened. A large figure stepped out from the trees, crossing the water in just a few strides before disappearing into the thick forest. The brief clip sparked endless debate. Some said it was just a trick of light, while others believed it was something else entirely. Experts examined the footage, but nothing was confirmed. The figure's size, movement, and the remote location all pointed to one possibility. Those who saw it closely came to the same conclusion. This could have been the legendary Bigfoot moving through the wilderness unseen. Ancient artifacts discovered. A clip made waves, and here's why. It showed archaeologists uncovering a massive box. Inside, they found a body, human-like but ancient. What stood out were the ornaments and gold-plated shields, suggesting he was once a ruler. Some believed it could be King Nimrod. A similar case surfaced in 2004, showing an alleged operation in Iraq where the tomb of a Sumerian god king was discovered, along with his companion Enkidu, as mentioned in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Experts rushed to study these discoveries, and soon they might be seen in museums for the world to witness. Massive graves unearthed. A historian claimed to have found two unusually large graves about 1.2 kilometers outside a cave in Pulau Upe. Each grave measured around 5 meters, spaced 15 to 20 meters apart. This was proof that early settlers in Malacca, including those from the Malay Sultanate, were large in structure. Skeletal remains were also discovered, matching the grave sizes. Similar graves exist in Pulau Besar, said to belong to Sultan Arifin and the 7 warrior brothers, who were sacred figures that arrived for religious teachings. Experts are now studying these findings, and they could soon reveal more about the past. Towering Nephilim sighted. On January 2nd, 2024, something unbelievable happened at the Bayside Marketplace Outdoor Mall in Miami. Large, towering figures, between 8 to 10 feet tall, were spotted moving through the area. Their dark forms stood out, unlike anything seen before. Police quickly arrived, attempting to contain the situation. Witnesses described them as Nephilim-like beings, possibly extraterrestrial. Whether the police captured them or they vanished remains unknown. If they have been caught, the truth might come out soon. Stay tuned for any updates on this mysterious event. Sealed cliff passage.
Look.
A visitor at the Giant's Causeway was filming the breathtaking landscape when they noticed something unusual. In the rocky cliffs along the Antrim coast, a passageway seemed to be closing right before their eyes. There was no one around, no sign of movement, yet the rocks shifted as if a hidden door had just sealed shut. It could have been a giant disappearing into the cliffs or a magical doorway that led somewhere unknown. If they had stepped inside, they might have found a different world or a hidden place lost in time. A sight like this was rare, and those who saw it would never forget. Lost giant relic. A discovery like this could change history. Hidden away in an old collection, a strange relic was wrapped in rags, carrying the scent of age. Inside was a massive mummified finger, far too large for any normal person. It measured 16 inches, suggesting a giant once walked the land. It could be the remains of a prehistoric creature, but no similar fossils had ever been found. No known creature matched its size, and no similar remains had ever surfaced. The finger vanished soon after, along with the man who had it. If giants once existed, this could have been the proof, now lost once again. Open discussion. In the middle of Chile's Atacama Desert, a strange shape rises from the sand. People passing by often stop, unsure of what they are seeing. It looks like a giant hand reaching toward the sky, as if asking for help. Standing alone in the quiet desert, it gives an eerie feeling. Some say it looks like a creature trying to escape. But as they get closer, they realize it's not alive at all. It's a huge sculpture, built to remind people of human struggle and strength. In the middle of nowhere, this hand stands as a silent message for all who see it. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments, and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again,